I thought for sure they would follow the sound of my voice. I was wrong. Good afternoon. I'm Mark. Welcome back to the farm. Got a task to perform here this afternoon. We've got a couple of our broilers in this pack that are not really growing. They're not quite looking like they're shaping up right. So I'm gonna cull them out, harvest them today, and we'll probably use them for stew or something like that. But they're small. They're 2/3 the size of the other birds in there. And last time I tried to wait and get them, it just happened before. I tried to wait and get them to grow out, and it just didn't happen. And then it died in the night out there in the pen, and so we had to just dispose of it. So I got these two guys I'm going to process, and then get on with trying to set up a large pasture area for the cows where they can eat some of the stuff that's been growing up. If we're doing just one bird or two birds, I'm not going to break out the equipment. And so what happens is, for doing the scalding, with 149 degree water, I will just put water in this and heat it up on the stove and do that. And then for plucking, I just do that by hand after that's complete. It's going to take a little bit longer, but once this is up to speed, I'll be ready to go. I won't do any shrink wrapping on them. I'll just put them in gallon-sized Ziploc bags, seal them up, and keep them cold. Slightly different process. Same outcome, just a different way to get there. Well, that took me a lot longer than I thought it was gonna. It took me 1 hour and 15 minutes. Because plucking a chicken by hand takes a long time. And I didn't even do that good a job. So I think we may just end up skinning it and just using the meat. Anyway, all right, so that's done, but it took so long that I don't know if there's enough light for me to get out and actually start building a new paddock for the steers to move them into tomorrow. I may have to wait a day on it. That's the way it goes. All right, let's go feed everybody and start getting them ready for bed. Adventure time, getting the cows moved yesterday. Had to move them from way down there to way down here without the benefit of polytape stretch to make a corridor for them to walk. I thought for sure they would follow the sound of my voice. I was wrong. So it was a bit of an adventure. Well, I just moved the steers over here on the ground they've been on before. But in an effort to explain the smoothness of it all, I am currently outside of the fence I built. This is their tracks from the first time through. Yeah, stinkers, man. They led me all the way around back to the wetland, but they ended up where they needed to go. Fortunately, again, having the whole area perimeter fenced made a huge difference, and made it so that I could get them where I needed them to go, or at least keep them from getting too far away from me. But got them moved out here where there's a lot of green grass that's grown up, and the cows themselves are over there, and you can see that they're very happy being where they are. Meanwhile, down at the other end where they were, turkeys are having a field day down there in their old pasture area, their old corral area. So I guess there's plenty of good stuff to be had down there. So everybody's happy with it. Otherwise, my plan this morning is to get the big girl's coop moved. So I'll put that onto some fresh ground here. Oh, where are they? There they are. Get them put onto some fresh ground, and then work on marking out the spots for the last fence posts, and see if I can get those holes drilled and those fence posts put in today. As I'm getting the big girls moved, and you can see I've already moved them from down there. I've pulled the coop up here. I noticed something. I wanted to stop and show you. If you look at the ground here, you'll see areas like this that are super dark and super healthy. super rich grass. Those are all areas where when the cows were here before, they pooped, and then the chickens spread the poop out. And so you get just, grass, and you get these dark patches of really rich soil, or at least well-fertilized soil. And that's what this combination can do. Here's another thing. I don't know if we can see it. This is where the chicken tractor for the broilers were previously. And you can see how, you'll get a spot like this where it's matted down and covered in manure. And that's a more recent spot. But then if you go back just a few weeks before that, you start seeing, or not even weeks, just like a few days, you start seeing the dark spots where the rain has come, all that fertilizer has gone into the soil, and it's turned really green. It's a cool thing, man. It's a cool thing. All right, let me finish getting this fence put up because I'm getting it laid out and I got to stand it up and actually get them some food. All right, just cleaning up the waterer for these guys and filling it up. Look at this. This hose is less than probably 2 months old. Contractor grade, they say. Contractor grade. Big shiny thing. I'm like, all right, I'll spend the money to do that. Let's see if I can get it so I don't have to buy one hose. Yeah, they put on a spring and a fancy nozzle. Cost some pennies. They charge you dollars. And look at this. What trash. My next step for this, while I wait for the concrete to cure, is to figure out the placement of my posts for the remainder of the fence that's going to go around here. Now, I still have some woven wire field fence, but I'm not going to use that for this portion because what that requires is a braced end, whether it's an H or any kind of, the posts have to be reinforced like this. See, right? It's really 2 posts, not 1 post, because I've got the H brace in the middle. So the strain, while it looks like it's on this end post, really is shared between the 2 of them. And then the cross wiring in between to give it that extra strength. I don't want to do that because there's just not enough space to make it worth the energy. Plus, this is going on a curve. So it's not straight line. So I'm going to lose the value of having done that kind of strength stuff because that woven field fence needs to be stretched in order to give it the rigidity. So what I'm going to use are cattle panels, which are a little bit thicker and they're rigid, more rigid. What I've done is I came out here to this point. So that's where I am. I start up there and I just measure a distance across. So go fence or to go post, 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 post. So I'm going to be putting in 4 posts on each side. And you can see I've got it set up over here as well, where this flag here, and then I've got the end post, and then flag, 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 and then fence post or gate post. So that's my plan. So I've got to come out now. I'm just going to measure like 3 more times and then come out and drill some holes. I got to change the bit, the auger bit on the tractor, because the one that's on there now is a 12-inch diameter bit, and I wanted that wider auger bit for when I put the gate posts in to allow me to get more concrete into the ground, which is why each side took 320 pounds of concrete into each gate post. And so I've got a total of 640 pounds of concrete in the ground for these posts, 320 a piece. Hopefully that'll hold. Our soil down here is very sandy, so it's not like further north where you get a more dense pack. It really holds super well. This is sand. It's like going to the beach once you get far enough down. Well, when you get far enough down, you start to hit clay. My holes are not that deep. All right, I'm gonna measure a bunch more times. Then I'm gonna get the tractor, swap out the bit, and then, because the bit I'm gonna use for these posts is only a 9-inch bit, which is, they need to be a little more precise on the drill, but the fence posts themselves are only about 4 to 5 inches in diameter, and the ground will hold them in just fine. So that's what I'm doing. So what I need to do with these now is I'm just going to pull some sand away from the side to give me a good clean line of what the ground level is. And I'll measure the hole to make sure the depth is proper. I probably went a little deeper than 3 feet, which is my target for this, 3 feet. But then I can just push dirt in. I think it's a little bit easier to push dirt in than to take dirt out. So I'll get those down about 3 feet. And when they're all good, I'll drop posts in the holes. And then I'll start measuring again with the posts in the holes to make sure that I have them in the right place. One of the things that happened when I did this long row here is I measured everything at exactly 8 foot spacing. Now that's cool, as long as when I put all the posts in and get everything set, they are 8 feet on center. But if they're not, which these turn out to not be, it just makes it hard for your follow-on actions. I want to run a 4-board on the outside of this, right? So, you know, those 6-inch boards that go down and make it look really cool on the outside, which is what I wanted to strive for here for the entrance of the farm. But because some of these go a little beyond 8 feet, now I'm buying a 16-foot board, but only being able to do 8 feet with it. I would have been better off to go 7 feet 9 inches in between each post to give me a little bit of, you know, so I can just cut off 6 inches and call it good. I didn't do that. So this time I did go a slightly shorter distance in between, but the hole is 9 inches wide. If I put the post in the wrong place and then set them up, it's possible that I could still have a problem because the cattle panels that I'm going to put on are 16-foot panels. So I need 2 of them over here, which basically go from the post to this set with the dark brown dirt, and then 16 foot to here, and then an 8-footer just to span this last little bit. Actually, it might be better if I just buy one 16-foot and then cut it. Yeah, so I'm getting 5 16-foot panels. That's much smarter. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm doing. Well, there it is. They still need to be painted black so they match everything else. And then 1, 2, 3, and then this tree is actually my 4th post. So no sense putting in another one. I was worried about these posts over here because the closer you get to the woods, the more you got to contend with roots. Fortunately, no big roots here. Some smaller ones, like finger-sized ones, but it went right through those. But I'm not going to try and drill up against the base of this tree. I experienced that, you know, while I was putting this fence in. And that was just a little bit of a hot mess. So we're just going to use the tree as the post. That makes good sense. It started raining on me while I was out here. And it's still spritzing, but I think it's a sign of things to come. Weather's supposed to go south on us here. Definitely tomorrow, but even later on today. So, yep, so I got those in. Got these in. And then the idea is as you approach the property, you move into a little horseshoe here. That'll be the thing. And there's the actual entrance. So it sets back, the gate sets back about 20 feet. Actually, it sets back exactly 20 feet. And this area will be landscaped a bit in here just to make it an attractive entrance. It started raining again. I'm gonna go in and get out of the rain. It's been raining on and off. Hasn't kept the turkeys away. Boy, they are spending the day here at the farm. They were here first thing this morning out in the cow pasture, and they've just been hanging out all day. So this is pretty great. I enjoy having them there. They're also really good for the land, for the grass, all that. So yeah, so got the post in, got turkeys on property, got a few other chores taken care of. Feel pretty good about it. So yeah, I think that's going to do it from here. We'll talk to you guys later.